Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Lloyd Lee. Welcome to another episode of the Short, Pale, and Handsome podcast. Today is Monday, January 25th, in the year of our Lord 2021. This is the first podcast that I've done this year. It's been way too long. How long has it been, Lloyd? Way too long. I have missed you guys. I think I've been away since March, April, the beginning of this COVIDness was man. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody is fine. I hope all of your loved ones are able to give you a hug. And it's been a wild ride. We're all in this together. I was having a hard time dealing with just the way life was and is, and I was having a very difficult time talking about it and what I shouldn't have done, but what I ended up doing was just kind of stepping away and just not being that creative and stop doing a podcast when, trying to be entertaining and talking about stuff when you're not doing anything. You're stuck in the same house, in the same room, looking at the same stuff. Like it becomes very difficult and very depressing, and my mind goes dark. Like not blank, but you start talking about stuff that didn't feel right, and I didn't feel entertaining. I didn't feel good. So I kind of just stepped away, and as opposed to like talking through it and just kind of pushing through it, and I've been gone way too long, and I've missed you guys. So if you're listening to this, I appreciate you. It's been too long. Welcome. I hope you're not too mad at me. I just had to get right with the Lord, get right with my comedy, which is not existent. So, life happens. Again, we're what I had to come to realize. Oh, sorry. What I had to come to realize is that like we're all kind of dealing with exactly the same thing. Whether you lost your job, I lost my job. I lost all of my work. Um, I lost, where you got furloughed. I've been on a like 9 month furlough from comedy. Um, it's eh, you have to go to work and subject yourself to the savages that probably have COVID, and then bring it home to your family. Like I ended up just not feeling good about what was going on, and just like everybody else. So I stepped away, and now I'm back. Life has changed. A lot of things have changed, and you're probably looking at it. If you're watching the video portion, you're like, "Oh, this is a new setup. Is this a new room in your house?" It's not. It's not. I Last time I talked to you guys, last time you saw me, I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and right around August, we had the opportunity, and we made the life choices to give it another go round, and we moved to Las Vegas, Nevada, not New Mexico. Las Vegas, Viva Las Vegas, that one. So I'm here in Vegas. And during COVID, it's been not quite Vegas, but it's fine. Great opportunities here. Uh, it's more affordable. Taxes are more manageable, and it was just one of those things where, especially now, you kind of just have to make the best decisions for you, business wise, and maybe otherwise. And that's what we did. So the wife and I packed up. We moved out, and here we are. And if you can't see it, but if you look in the window you can almost kind of sort of see the strip. You can see Rio, not De Janeiro, the hotel. And I'm that close. So I'm happy. I was supposed to move out here like 2008, 2009 after the crash. And it just didn't happen. I met the woman of my dreams. We lived in LA. She went back to school. We moved to DC. We are trying to start a family. All of those things happen. And yet, it's kind of like life. You end up where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. I don't know what I would have done if I was out here 10, 12 years ago and not met the woman of my dreams. I don't know. I don't know what kind of savage heathen would I be? Some pagan just out here running amok? Um, yeah, so I'm glad to be here, and I feel like Vegas is a great little place, great little place to be. And yeah, like I said, I'm happy to be here. Ooh, Lloyd, this is a rough one. I wrote down notes because I was like, hey, I haven't podcasted in almost a year. You should probably prepare for this. And I did. And like Loy fashion, I just fell off the rails real quick. 5 minutes in, and I just said, fuck it. We're going off the rails. Uh, um, but yes, so let's see. Where have I been? Let's start at the beginning. March, COVID hits. We're in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I sat on my hands for a long time, unable to do comedy. Um, and which is really sad because I really liked living in Albuquerque as far as like the people I met. It was easy to live, the weather was fine, and it was small town. I think the older I get, the more small town I become. I definitely enjoy the slower parts of life, the slower ports of the world, smaller, slower parts of the world, and I think that's what Vegas really gives me. Is like it's good, if you're away from the strip, it feels like a small town. You're just in a really, really, really big suburb. Um, I liked Albuquerque. I liked Albuquerque, but on to bigger and better things. We ended up moving to New Mexico. Sorry, bigger and better things. We ended up moving to Las Vegas, Nevada. Before I left Albuquerque, I did end up pooling my resources and was able to record my first comedy album. Hooray! You say, right? It's free. Because you're like, hey, Lloyd, where can I get it? It's free on YouTube. YouTube.com/Loy Lee Comedy. It's called Asian Privilege, and you can find it anywhere you find audio, I guess. It's on Spotify, it's on YouTube, it's on iTunes, it's on all of these places. And the kick to it was that I did it in front of no crowd. Kind of like I'm doing right now. I'm looking at a camera and I am talking, but in that case, I am doing my best to tell all of my best jokes. And I I put it together. I called in all the favors. I edited it myself. I did all of these things. My wife was a doll and just put up with my manic, just craziness, the planning, the day of, all of that stuff. She was just a freaking gem because she knew I was going crazy, just planning it out and looking forward, and even the day of, she just sat there and was like, "Listen, kid, you got something. Just relax, have fun." I hadn't done comedy in like 130 days. I recorded, let's see, my last comedy anything was like in March, and I recorded my album at the end of July, and then I moved to Vegas directly after. So it was nerve wracking, and my wife kind of grabbed me by the collar and was like, "Listen, get your shit together. I've gone all in on your career. I'm gonna need you to step your game up. This is what we play for. Somebody hit somebody." Nah, she just looked me square in the eye. I was like, "Listen, you know what you're doing. Just fucking do it. Relax. It's fine." And I had never done comedy with no crowd. I had never done comedy with literally five people in the room. Actually, I've done comedy, five people in the room, but I was paying those five people versus I've never done it with zero audience. Um, and then when I moved to Vegas, I just had the time to just cut it up, edit it the way that I liked, and put it out. So it's on YouTube, Asian Privilege, and it's my first album. I'm very proud of it. It was a challenge. It's like an art piece. Um, yeah, I'll go more into that on another podcast when we talk about. But check it out, Loy Lee Comedy on YouTube, and it's there. Asian Privilege, Loy Lee. Yeah, so thank you for everybody that already has checked it out. Thank you everybody that has shown support throughout the years. Um, I put people's names in the at the end of it that just really stuck out to me. People that were there from my day one, and it was exciting. It was exciting to just put together all of my skill sets that I've learned trying to be an actor and learning all the things on the back end and kind of putting it together. I was very happy with the people that I surrounded myself with that helped me put it together, and I am forever thankful for my wife that she believes in me. Uh, it's the Kenny Rogers song. I'm sorry, the Kenny Rogers song. She believes in me, and sometimes I know the look in her eyes. She's like, I don't know where we're going. I don't know where this crazy train is taking us, but I believe in you. I believe you're gonna get to where you know you want to be. Um, and I think that's important. I've said it before. Find somebody that believes in you, and life will be, you know, life will be a lot easier. I don't know where I'd be if I had to fight my wife and my hopes and dreams all the way through. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm getting all emotional. I will say though, between March and when I started to prepare for my album, one of the biggest reasons that I wanted to do the album was I didn't think it was going to be January and still be under COVID. I thought I was going to be like, August, September, and we're done. But yet here we are. So, you know, mental health. My mental health was in the shitter, and I encourage everybody that is dealing with something, be okay with that you're dealing with something, and seek help or find someone to speak with, because it is very difficult and you are not alone in this. And it's not a sign of weakness that we are a creature of community and tribe and support. Support those who need help, and seek help when you need it. So, um, like I said, I was just getting dark. That's kind of why I kind of stopped doing a lot of the podcast, because I couldn't go out, I couldn't see new things, I couldn't do anything, and the only thing that I could really like consume was Facebook and the media and news, and none of it was good. None of it was good for my health. And then for me to like consume it and then find something to talk about, it just did not work. I Yeah, I don't know, man. I am having a little technical issues on this side. I know you guys probably can't tell, but I got some new equipment, and I don't know how to use it all. So I apologize if I've literally had to stop. I've had to stop the podcast and run the camera again, and I don't know how this is gonna turn out, but it's a learning experience. I'm rusty, bro. I haven't done this in forever. If you don't do something for a few weeks, you feel out of it. What happens if you don't do it for a few months? What if you don't do it for 10 months? You just, I don't even know where to begin. It's like having sex for the first time in 10 months. You're like, you're putting your shoulders in there. You don't even know if the shoulders are supposed to be there. I think they are. And you just kind of put them in there, and they're like, what are you doing? You're like, I don't know. And you just That's how that's how this podcast feels. But hey, you got like, hey, you don't know what you're doing until you go out and do it, and then you realize you don't know what you're doing. But it's a place, it's a starting place, it's a place to where you can improve and get better, right? Okay. moving forward, pushing forward 15 minutes. We're halfway. Hey, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a podcast. So shout out to Albuquerque. Thank you guys. I love you guys. I definitely want to be back as soon as I can. And I would love to help build that comedy community. And I think that it's got a lot of potential out there. Okay. Asian Privilege, YouTube.com. I don't know what I'm saying half the time. Okay, you guys ready? What else? From March to July, made my album. August, November, I have been busy. I have not been just sitting at home. August, I basically started to partner up with a bunch of different podcasters, buddies of mine. Stephen, Patrick, I don't even know what to say. Stephen Strange. No, that's the Marvel uh, Sorcerer Supreme. I started to collaborate with Patrick Strange, Kuya P, and his New Release Wednesday, NRW, and Nerds of Color, and got to collaborate with them for a little while. And also, I've got my other podcast that I run with Eddie Lyles and now Terrence G. It's called I'ma Get in Trouble, and I'm doing this. So I've been and I did a short run. Hopefully, we can get back with Edwin San Juan, the Edwin San Juan on the Edwin San Juan show, and I got to produce a couple episodes of that, and hopefully we can get back on that horse. So I've been busy. There's just doing my best to really just do something. Keep my head filled with some thoughts on what to do to create content. And I've just been just trying my best to keep my hands from being idle, and really just flexing other skill sets, collaborational skill set, production wise. So it's I don't know. I don't know. Anything that did not make me go crazy kept me from going crazy, and apparently was my saving grace for the time being. So that was what I did this summer. What I've been doing. I'm still on the I'm gonna get in trouble podcast. I'm not as collaborating with Kuya P as much, but check NRW. Check out Nerds of Color. Check out his new show, the Show Pow Show, where he basically interviews a bunch of Filipino people in different walks of life. It's a great show. If you are Pinoy, you are Pinoy adjacent, your loved one is Pinoy or Pinay, check it out. You might learn. So what's going on in the community? Um, Enough of that. November, I did the unimaginable. Like, Loy, what was the unimaginable? Not that, is it? Loy went out and got a job. My wife keeps on telling me I'm saying it wrong. It's a job. 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 I went out and got a job. I was actually, a little afraid, a little fear in the heart. I hadn't actually worked for a boss in quite some time, a couple years. I hadn't actually been like in a customer service sales position in like 3 or 4 years, 5 years. I've been doing comedy, just kind of doing this, and I thought, I was financially stable enough to just get by for like maybe September, where you're like, hey, let me just save some money. And then I had enough to get me through COVID, or so we thought. And, the unemployment checks definitely did help. It definitely helped extend um, the getting away from a job for a while. Yeah. But it came down. It was inevitable, apparently. It was inevitable to everybody except for me. I had to go get a job. And I was just really, really impressed that they called me back. They saw my resume. I had to like look at my resume again just to make sure I sent my resume and not my wife's or somebody else's resume. And yeah, they said, "Hey, it looks great. Let's have an interview." And then, of course, I'm a personable person. Knock the interview out. That's all I need is the interview. and they go, "Hey, we fucking love you, kid. Let's get you working for us." And I was like, shit. Even now, I kind of don't believe that they hired a stand-up comedian to do uh, working with the public, and I haven't gotten fired yet. So I've had the job since November. I'm out there working with the public, doing sales, and I haven't been fired yet. So that's impressive. I didn't even know where this story was gonna go. I just they keep on not firing me every day. They keep on putting me on the schedule for the next week. So I am thankful, because there's a lot of people out there without jobs or unable to get a job or have been applying and can't get a job for one reason or the other. And I got a job like basically on my first go round. So I have to say that with all intents and purposes, that I am thankful. I am thankful that I'm able to use my personality. I get to talk to people. I'm not stuck in a cubicle. Um, so just trying to find the silver lining. And, that's the thing about COVID. I did not know that I needed to be somewhere or left to my own devices, it was going to be a downward spiral. I just assumed, like, oh, I ain't got to be nowhere. I can't be anywhere. This is going to be grand. It's going to be freaking exciting. Unemployment comes in, freaking check. I got money. I got nowhere to go, nowhere to be, nothing to do. And after creating some content, kind of went a little nuts. Went a little on the crazy train, if you will. So, having a job has actually allowed me to kind of get my shit straight, my priority in order, and now I've got structure in my life. Listen, I've been a free range person for a while. And when you become organic, free range, nowhere to go, nowhere to be, nothing to do, I am not built for that. I am not built for that kind of responsibility. So yeah, I'm thankful. I would say that this job has saved me both mentally, creatively, and has saved me financially, of course, because it's a job, right? They pay you. I think. I haven't checked my bank account yet. I will say it is strange. I'm 40. I turned 40 in October, and I got a job in November. And I will say that it is strange being a 40-year-old man at a job where, like, I am 12 years older than my manager. I'm like 14, 15 years older than my assistant managers, and the median age like of the store is 24. I'm old enough to be some of these guys' fathers. So that is very strange to me. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's there is a cultural gap that I am looking at it with such curiosity every day. Like I literally have to ask them, like, what did you watch growing up? Just so I can kind of place it to where I am in life, like where that show or that movie or that music appeared in my life. And like what songs were you listening to like as like in high school, and you go, wow, I was out there being a heathen when that song came out. Get low, 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 low. Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. I will say, it has been very interesting, where just seeing younger people and their mentalities. And a lot of these guys, men and women that I work with, they are all from Las Vegas, because apparently people in their 20s, that's common. I never met anybody from Las Vegas until I moved here, and everybody in their 20s was apparently from here. But talking to people who've never been anywhere, and this is where they were raised and probably where they're gonna retire in 40 years, it's very interesting because it is starkly different from what like my perception of the world is, and different from like my hopes and dreams and my goals, and it's a great exercise in just being like, oh, there are different people out here. I'm just excited to be outside of my house. So I have been enjoying it. I've been enjoying the conversation. I feel like I have been learning a lot. Learning a lot. I will say that yeah, it's been a growth period for me out here, both yeah, as a person, and like as like a contributing member to the community, realizing that like, oh, I've insulated myself with comedians and bookers and producers and audience members for like the last 3 or 4 years. Like, I really don't know what it's like to be yeah, around real people. Like, I've never felt like a fake person before. Not like fake, but like, oh, you lived like a semi charmed kind of life. I want something else to get me through this semi charmed kind of life. But I will say that yeah, I didn't realize it until the store that I worked at had to get shut down, or we all got put on quarantine because one of the other people caught COVID. I didn't catch COVID, but somebody else caught COVID, and we kind of had to like go on quarantine for 2 weeks. And this is right around Christmas. Like, it's where we make our money, and I get that part, but everyone's like really, 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 really upset. They're really upset about like not being able to make the money, and it was definitely going to affect their bottom line. And for me, I was kind of like, well, I mean, that's great, you know. It's freaking, you get like the week of Christmas off. And then when everyone's like, no, you don't understand. Like, we depend on this commission check. We depend on it, for our livelihoods. And I was kind of like, oh yeah, I mean, we get paid hourly, right? And they're like, no, no, that's like only a fraction of what we could make. You don't understand, and you're like, you're right, I don't understand. But then during this 2 week quarantine, I realized like, oh yeah, I get it. Like, it's like getting my unemployment when because I can't do stand up comedy. I could make so much more money than I was making on unemployment. Um, I don't know. I just found a silver lining, maybe, or maybe I just didn't. I don't understand what it's like to like have a family and live off of commission and all of those things. I don't know. It just made me realize, like, when you are in a conversation and there's like 10 people and you are the only person with like the opposite opinion. Everyone else has an opposite opinion of you than you do. You have to like sit down and go, oh, maybe maybe I need to reevaluate how all of this is going. I need to like reevaluate how I'm seeing things in life. So yeah, it's been very interesting, and I definitely feel that I'm growing as a person. Maybe that's what I needed in comedy, is just a fresh perspective, because I've been doing this for so long. I need to really just get back to the basics, and being around people every day uh, that are not in comedy, that have nothing to do with comedy, have nothing to do with entertainment, is what I need in life. So I'm thankful. I'm thankful, even though I'm not gonna lie, I'm, I'm still surprised I'm on the schedule every week. Every week I'm on the schedule. Like, oh, you're really gonna give me all of these hours? That's crazy. Every time the check deposits, I'm like, you've got you got a paycheck. You're like, wow, ain't that something? I don't know. I am excited to get back to podcasting. My setup is finally set up. I'm gotta do some adjustments and some arrangements. It's not not right where I want to be, but I'm happy. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy that you're listening. I'm happy that you have not forgotten about me 30 minutes into this podcast. So, without further ado, I want to say thank you for coming back. I love you guys. And let's make 2021 better. Let's keep on being our amazing selves. Yeah, let's do that. Thank you guys for listening. If you guys are just listening, there is a video portion of this. It's on YouTube, youtube.com, Lloyd Lee Comedy. YouTube.com/Lloyd Lee Comedy. My special is on there, Asian Privilege. If you are just watching this, there's audio portions on all of the audio places you find podcasts: Apple Podcast, iTunes, or maybe that's the same thing. I don't know, Spotify, and Stitcher. I mean, basically, wherever you find podcasts, that's where we are. I am excited to announce I got some sponsors and some partnerships that will come in the next episode. I will be here next week. I hope to see you. I hope you're not too mad at me for leaving you. I should never have left you without some dope podcasts to listen to. Without that, without you guys, I would just be talking to myself. So I love you, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye bye.